Took the restrictor plate off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice. But let's keep that on the down low. It's not exactly street legal.
Wow, that's really loud.
Yeah, thanks.
What's up everyone, I'm Tony Carbajal, and what do we have here? Something new. It's time for a new sport bike. Every time I would open my phone or I'd open my computer or I'd open a magazine, I kept seeing a lot of stuff about this bike and just needed to figure out what all the hype was. So a couple of my buddies were magazine editors. I talked to them, they test rode them, they had nothing but good things to say about them. So I came to the conclusion that I just needed to go ride one of these things. So I went down to a local dealership. To be totally honest with you, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at first. There's certain things that you have to figure out with this bike because it has so much technology built into it. You just have to dial it into your liking, and that's what I had to do. So I'll tell you guys more about that stuff in a little bit. I went with the Panigale V4 because the V4S comes with the electronic Olin suspension and the Marchesini wheels, and all that stuff is great, but I don't plan on doing a bunch of track days with my bike. I really just need a bike that I can hop on and go ride through the mountains when I have some spare time. It didn't take long for me to figure out what the hype was about this bike because it's a badass machine. This bike still comes with huge Brembo brakes, the same engine, basically the same platform throughout, single-sided swing arm, a huge rear tire. My friends at Endless Auto Salon darkened up the windscreen for me, gave the bike a bit more of an aggressive look. The rear tail on this bike is definitely one of the bike's best accents, and one of the first things I had to do was just pull that mud flap off that held the license plate and the turn signals and find another option. I brought it home with this slip system exhaust, and honestly I had every intention of making like a video to share with you guys of the install, but it was a tedious process. It took about 4 hours, so I can only imagine how long it would have taken had I filmed the whole thing. Really happy with the system, dropped a lot of weight. It's got really good sound to it now. I'm not running the little inserts in it. I should get out of the way so you guys can get a better look at this thing. So I plan to customize this thing a little bit. There's not a lot of parts out there, not a lot of options for this thing right now since it's a brand new model. I'm gonna install some new parts. I'll show you guys that in some other videos. But right now, let's get out and ride this thing and I'll tell you more about it. I love the way that quick shift sounds when you get into it and just snap it. Sounds so good with this exhaust. So I had really contemplated getting a Yamaha R1. I really like those bikes. I rode one at Chuckwalla Raceway and it felt good, handled good. This bike just won me over. One of the reasons why I didn't like this bike initially when I first rode it was because it's got so much technology built into it. It's got wheelie control, slide control, traction control, ABS, launch control. It's got 3 different power modes, which is good. It's really suitable for a lot of different riders' needs, and I can see why that would be good for them, but for me, I've never really had a bike, I've never owned a bike that has all that technology built into it, so for me, I'm used to feeling what the bike's gonna do when you get into it in certain ways. I like getting loose sometimes. All that kind of stuff was really not anything I was looking for, but once I learned how you can turn all that stuff off, that's when I really fell in love with this bike and just unleashed the beast out of this thing. So Ducati is claiming this bike puts out 214 horsepower. That is a ton of power. More than anybody needs, especially on the street. But this bike is a serious amount of fun. Look at them views. So one of the things about this bike is that it does run pretty hot, just like some of the other Panigales and Ducatis. The exhaust is right underneath you. So you are definitely boiling the eggs, if you know what I'm talking about. The thing doesn't weigh much. I think it's about 380 pounds. Pretty sure my stunt bikes probably weigh about that. 600 at cages, but this thing is massive engine, not too much else. Whew. It's warm out today. It's nice to be home. I feel like I haven't been California too much this year. Spent a lot of time in Colombia this year, in Georgia, New Orleans. So I haven't really had too much time to ride over here in the old stomping grounds, but getting it in while I can before I gotta leave again. So this bike's got a pretty long wheelbase. The wheelie control really does its job. When I first rode this thing and I tried to wheelie it, I could get it up only a little bit of the ways, and then when I came down, the thing just launched like a rocket ship. And it was a little scary because I didn't know what to expect, but basically I was giving it more throttle, trying to get it to wheelie, and the wheelie control wasn't allowing it. So as soon as the bike touched the ground and the bike knew it was on two wheels, it just rocket shipped forward, and I had to react really fast. One of the things about this bike that really does kind of set it apart from all the other bikes I've ridden is that nobody sees me on this thing. No matter where I go, all the riding that I do, it's like I've never felt like I had to watch out for myself more than I do on this big, bright red bike that is brighter than any bike I've ever owned. I don't know how people don't see this thing. It's red, it's loud. So, that being said, I ride with the high beams on, and I'm guessing it's because of those little sleek, low-profile headlights. The running lights are just those two little strips that are really awesome looking, but I don't think that helps the cause any when you're trying to be seen. Luckily, I'm able to get on the brakes and get myself stopped when people get in front of me.
A few moments later.
See what I'm talking about? Another thing is these handlebars. I really thought I was going to be in a more forward, aggressive position with this thing, but really it's not nearly as bad as some of the other bikes I've ridden. Coming off of my ZX6 that had raised clip-ons where I could ride a lot more upright, I really didn't think I was going to be all that comfortable on this thing. It's been surprising just how nice it's been, even with the passenger. Gasoline. Yeah, this thing does not get the best of the MPGs, but it goes really fast, so who cares? Man, there's a lot of people coming up here right now. Most of you people have jobs. So yeah, all in all, I love this thing. Every time I ride it, it gets better and better. The more time I spend on it, so I'm pretty stoked on it. I'm happy with it. It's a blast to ride. I don't have any regrets so far, but I'll keep you updated. God, this bike is insane! Insane! Seriously, like, unreal. Crazy amounts of power. Oh my gosh. Alright, well that was a blast. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking out the new bike. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I appreciate everything, all the support. Stick around, I'm gonna make some more videos with this thing. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Tony Carbajal. I'll be posting updates. I'll see you in the next one.